Here with us.
Welcome to Heal with Us, where we aim to inspire, strengthen, and empower.
Now let's begin to heal.
Hey y'all, I'm Toya, and I'll be investigating the business of everyday people like you and I. This is Dr. Nikkisha. She'll be checking in on your heart. And that's Tam. She'll be enlightening you with fun facts you didn't even know you needed. She's just nerdy like that. Now that you met us, let's get in your business.
In your business.
All right, so on today's episode, we're going to discuss soul ties. I asked Tam, I think in the previous episode, what was it when you just met somebody, but you feel like you've known them forever? So when was the first time you experienced the soul tie? Yeah, I'll ask.
Oh, okay. I would say I was 15. Yeah.
More.
Why more? You just asked me when.
More is more.
More is more. 15. I met a person and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's a secret.
I'm going to get in her business. Don't worry.
Yes. To be continued.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get into what soul ties are.
No.
I gotta say that because your question, immediately feeling connected to someone.
Mm-hmm. The first time.
The first time
Yeah, the first
we
time.
met. Yeah. And when?
Like
how
the
long
first
ago?
time you ever experienced it in your life.
Okay, so I'll say on a positive note. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the how long ago it was. I'll say, I guess, been like 27 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On
And
a not so positive note, about maybe 30 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
My first time, I can remember very clearly, and I know y'all probably remember Bethany in the sandbox in our first the playground that we had, the Wizard of Oz playground. Y'all remember that? It was like Wizard of Oz themed. They had the Tin Man. The swing set was the Tin Man. Y'all don't remember that? Yes.
In the community? Oh,
Yeah.
I never made that connection. You
Y'all
made that
don't remember the
connection?
Wizard of Oz part? Y'all remember the Wizard of Oz part?
In the
Some of our
front
friends.
of the neighborhood, that part.
The one in the middle. The middle one. That we could see from our window.
Oh.
That part right there on the back window.
No, child.
Do you remember the playground that was right there?
I remember, but I didn't know
remember
that
there was a field in the back of our places.
on the
Okay, you remember where the laundromat was?
Yes.
Right behind the laundromat was the playground
yeah,
with the sandbox.
I know the playground. I didn't know that was Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it had the swings was the Tin Man.
Behind the laundry mat
Yeah,
was a park.
the pool was next
wow.
to
The pool.
it,
I
and there
remember
was
the
a
pool.
playground right next door. Okay, do you remember the
Child.
basketball court?
But that was a ways down.
Yeah, but that was all in the same.
The basketball court, beside the basketball court was the wooden park.
Okay, that's
Right
on the
on
other
the
side.
end. On
You
the
went
end.
to where we're not allowed to go. That's too far out of the court.
Oh, I don't
You don't remember
no
the court?
Wizard of
Okay, I mean,
Oz.
the park.
The wooden park is on the other side.
I know.
The other part
I know
was
what park
on
you're
the-
talking about. I just do not recall that.
If you went out your
thing.
patio,
was a
and you
field.
touched the,
It was
maybe
a
it wasn't
field.
there yet.
It was a huge
'Cause
field.
you
No,
didn't
it
move.
was a field, but if you walked straight down the field, well, I'm gonna
You
say
get to the office, the rental office.
Yes, it was behind it.
Oh, we need our TC family to chime in when y'all watch
Yes,
this.
yes. We
So
gonna have
you
to come.
Yes, you
Oh.
came out of your back patio. You see the laundromat, right?
after I looked across the vast field.
Yeah.
The vast
She was
field.
so
The
little.
field was
She
not-
had to be tiny when she moved
I
because
know.
the field was not that
It was not
bad.
vast.
You were just like 6 or 7, maybe. I don't know.
So she said the vast field.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go to the
Because
vast
there was a
field.
long sidewalk.
Out your patio door.
I know. If
Okay, do you remember the green box that we loved to sit on?
yeah, that was to the left of
The
you guys.
park was right there. Like if you sat on the green box, you can look
How
over
come I
to
don't remember the green box?
the green
The
box.
green box was on the
left
other
of your
side.
door.
The green box is about the
No,
street.
not that one. Oh my God! Never mind. Never mind. Let go back. Get back on topic. Okay.
Well, anyway.
Okay.
What's your part?
Because this is ridiculous.
Anywho, Bethany is in that park. Okay. It does exist. And the sandbox, we were like digging. Me and her were both trying to dig the China.
Oh,
So, but I just remember she was talking my head off. I don't remember what we were talking about, but we felt like we knew each other. We were kids. And then when we were done playing and digging for China, we both got tired and we just left.
I don't even remember who Bethany was.
Yeah. She was a sweet girl.
Did you know Bethany?
You don't remember Bethany either?
Oh, was that your make-believe friend? Or
It
she was
could
a real
be.
person?
It's supposed to.
Oh,
Who knows with me? But yeah, I think she was a real she's a real boy.
She's a real boy.
But yeah,
a real
I
boy.
just remember that. Yeah. But I saw her in the neighborhood over time. I think some of
Her
our other
name
friends
sounds
knew
very
Bethany
familiar,
also.
though. Yeah.
But I think she lived in the court all the way in the back that we
Oh.
also were not allowed to go to because it wasn't in our court.
But I don't know why you're saying that because we went to several places we weren't allowed to go. So I don't even know why.
Well, when you say wasn't allowed, that was me.
Oh,
you
okay.
guys.
You including her.
Because
Okay.
I got
Oh yeah, you
a
were
massive, severe beating.
Oh yeah, you
because
weren't.
I went.
Yeah, yeah, we were.
Well, I
just,
used to get lost easy, so I was
Oh,
not allowed to go places.
yes,
yeah.
Unless they went to.
yeah. I remember that.
So yeah, but that was my first time. So I was probably like maybe I don't think I was in kindergarten. I don't know. I was real
Wow.
small.
I'm gonna have to reflect some more.
But I have
She
like
went
a
all the way
whole
back
bunch.
to the sand.
I know, but that
The
was first
sandbox.
time. Okay, so and then I also noticed I was kind of talking to Tam, and I think Keisha, you said something too about this. But you can be like away from a person for like many, many years, but as soon as y'all are back together,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel like any years went
Mhm.
by, and the connection is not broken.
Mhm.
That too is soul ties.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with that, do you have anybody like that you disconnect and then you reconnect?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, share.
So for me, it's the same person I met when I was 15, but
Mhm.
also we no longer talk, but it was a friend that I met. I met her when I was in 8th grade, I think. And so years would go by and we would reconnect, and it was like we were still those
Mhm.
13, 14-year-old girls. that
Yeah.
Nothing kind of fell off.
Mhm.
But evidently it has because we don't talk anymore. So, yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
But there
Life
are
happens.
different types of
Mhm.
soul ties. You
Mhm.
have intimate soul ties. You have, just regular
Platonic.
friendships. You have sexual soul ties. So there's different
Okay.
types of soul ties.
Mhm.
All right. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I had, we'll have close friends that, we're not in the same state, but whenever we get together, whether on the phone or in person, it's like no time has lapsed,
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I think probably siblings feel that. If
Oh,
you,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
like maybe somebody moved to a different state, but then you get back together, it probably feels like that too. I don't know
Oh
if
my
that's the
God.
same
Like,
thing.
how could the three of us, forget the main soul tie?
I
Us.
don't know,
Duh.
I was thinking
This is
that, but I
true.
was like trying not
Yeah.
to say the obvious, but yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like any time has passed.
Right.
So we don't even notice.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like soul ties, I guess. I feel like I have like more than a normal amount. I don't know if that's a thing, but
I
yeah.
don't think there's a limit.
Oh, okay. Because
Okay.
it happens a lot.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, a lot.
Even just a random stranger?
Yes, like I'll meet somebody and we just shared our whole life, but not in a way of like I'm just trying to get in their business, but like it really feels like I know the person, and they say the same thing. Like, so yeah.
We're going to have to explore that because I don't know if that's the same thing as a soul tie, to be
Okay.
honest. So
Okay.
I'm going to research that for you and
Mhm.
come back to, because it sounds like that's something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that.
Okay.
I'm going to have to research.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for letting me get in y'all business.
Of course.
In your business.
Anytime. Blessings, blessings. It's Dr. Nikkisha Bell-Griffin. How's your heart, everyone? So let's continue our conversation on soul ties. And I kind of want to dig into the definition and then ways you can identify if you have a healthy soul tie or unhealthy soul tie, because it can go either way, like most things in life. Like Tamara said, soul ties can be platonic, they can be romantic, they can be just straight physical. So there's those different levels. And it's basically when you feel you have a emotional connection to someone. And I'm going to say emotional and or physical because, like I said, it can be, sexual as well.
So it can be romantic as well.
I'm sorry, it can be. Well, I'm separating the two because sometimes it's different. Like sometimes it's straight just physical or sexual, and sometimes it's romantic. Where it's almost like the butterflies and things like that, but you're not necessarily physical with each other. Yeah, so it can be different. So basically, your soul is kind of like a bridge between your spirit and body, which is powerful. Because it's almost like our soul is the channel that communicates our spirit and our physical being. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you don't know, which I'm sure most of you know, the soul consists of your mind, your will, and your emotions. So when you're thinking of a soul tie, it's connecting pretty much every part of you, which is why it's so important to be careful with who you let into your space. So I'll start with the healthy side of. Okay. And if y'all want, I can go back and forth. I can do like the contrast or
this your segment,
I'll do the contrast. Just want the feedback, I appreciate y'all insight. So a healthy soul tie would first of all be characteristic of a relationship that energizes you. It enhances, who you are and inspires you. Whereas a unhealthy soul tie would be in a relationship that exhausts you or depletes you. It drains you. And I don't know if y'all saw the movie The Forge. It was really good. I watched that a few days ago. And one thing that the older gentleman who was mentoring a younger guy said was, don't be a drain, be a fountain. And I thought that was so powerful because, basically it's like we're not put on this earth to suck the life out of anyone. And if you feel like somebody's sucking the life out of you, literally, then that's definitely probably a soul tie.
Would a thing be included in that?
A thing?
You said anyone or can it be anything? Because I sucked the soul out of a snake that was on the side of my house before I came here with the shovel.
I hope you don't have a soul tie with a snake. So, no, I don't think it.
But it's a living thing.
We're talking about people. Oh, okay, that's a whole nother segment. We're going to have to.
That's why I said, could it be a thing? You can have a soul tie with your dog.
Excuse me. A snake is not a thing.
To me, it was. Today, that snake was a thing. That snake was a thing. Yeah. I'm just saying, why was he on the house?
Right.
Why were you slithering
I'm glad you got
the side of the house?
Never mind. That's for the next conversation about fears. But clearly you weren't afraid of them because you got them. You didn't have to.
Or maybe she was so afraid that she
that she attacked.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, this is true. But no, we're going to focus on human to human relationships. Okay. For this segment.
You can have a soul tie with your cat or your dog or a fish or a bird. That's why I said, could it be?
I don't think it would be called a soul tie because
they do have souls.
A soul is the mind, the will, and the emotions.
A dog has emotions. A dog smiles at you.
They whimper.
Okay, and they whimper. They get sad. Okay. So for the sake of this segment, everyone, we're going to focus on human to human soul tie.
Okay. Thank you. Specific.
Okay. All right. We good on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
not excluding your stuff.
No, I'm not. Okay, if you want to, But anyway, to continue, a healthy soul tie, another characteristic is that you feel safe, you feel comforted, you feel security when you're with this person, or even, like you said, even when you're apart, but when you think of them or whatever, that's how you feel. There's a sense of trust there and security there. Whereas with a unhealthy soul tie, that individual, whether it's they're in your space or, like I said, it's just the thought of them, you feel anxious, you feel nervous, you feel unsafe, you feel tense, any emotion that does not make you feel like you're okay with, being you and being where you are. So that would be unhealthy. Another healthy characteristic is you feel free to be yourself. This person probably inspires you and pulls out the best in you. They help you to feel more confident about being you. You're not judging yourself when you're around them. You don't feel shame. You don't feel, any type of negativity about just who you are as a person. You just feel completely free to be you. Whereas, of course, the opposite of in an unhealthy soul tie, there may be jealousy, there may be possessiveness. I think one of the greatest characteristics is a sense of codependency. It's almost like I don't know how to act, or when I'm trying to make a decision, I'm thinking about how this impacts this person or what this person's going to think or feel. Of course, on a certain level, especially if you're married, that's healthy. But if it's to the point where you are almost paralyzed and all your emotions are tied to this person, that's unhealthy soul tie. Unhealthy. The fourth characteristic I have is that the respect is reciprocal. It's not like you feeling like it. I remember you talking about this in one of your relationships. Somebody had to point out to you that you were the giver. You were doing way more than this other person was reciprocating. And that's a healthy soul tie. Whereas a healthy one is like respectful. It's like it's a give and take situation. We're both kind of like honoring each other, respecting boundaries and all of those things. And then the last one is you just feel unconditional love and acceptance, which is what all of us need to have that. And all of us want to have that sense of belonging and just the true sense of being connected to someone. Whereas, again, with unhealthy soul ties, it's going to be like conditions placed on who you are, what you can do, what you should do, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the differences. If you find that you are in an unhealthy relationship that exhibits those characteristics of unhealthy soul ties, then the first thing is acknowledging it, really being honest with yourself, like, okay, this is something I need to deal with. And then as hard as it may be, you probably are going to have to disconnect yourself from this person because clearly they are not good for you. And then you're going to connect with healthy individuals. And I would start with, especially those of us who are, believers in God, start with him, allowing him to just kind of heal you from that unhealthy, toxic connection that you've made, and really kind of allowing him to show you why you kind of gravitated towards that person. That person was in your space in the first place. Because a lot of times, like we talked about in previous episodes, unhealthy people, or what they say, hurt people, kind of hurt people, but sometimes hurt people attract other hurt people. So, just identify what in you, and sometimes it's not even like the bad characteristic of you. It's like, okay, being like for you, for instance, you're just very compassionate and very positive and very accepting, which someone who needs their heart healed may take advantage of that. So they're using a healthy trait in her, but that trait can be a codependent trait too, because it's like, oh, my job is to make you feel better. That healthy trait now becomes something unhealthy because, that individual is not receiving it in a way that they should. They're not receiving it to empower, which is what we're here to do, and help you, move in the right direction. They're using it as a crutch or whatever, So that would be something that you have to examine. And then just about the self-care, just really taking the time to love on you and just practice mindfulness and things that are going to put you in a better frame of mind and allow you to start creating, the spaces you need to make the right connections with people. So yeah, so that's kind of what I have. Does that now that you kind of got that background, does that kind of make you look at how you view soul ties differently?
I think it still checks all those boxes, even though it's like a brief time sometimes. So it's not everybody that I am talking to like that. It's only like certain people that I'm really like, did we meet before? Or, wait, did we already know each other? Or, you know, so, yeah.
All right. Okay then. All right. And I guess I myself, you know, just thinking back, you know, have, like I said before, when you asked your question, Toya, about when, I've definitely experienced the ramifications of having both, you know, like healthy soul ties truly do make me feel like a whole person. Like I just feel healthier. I want to be a better person when I'm around people that I connect with that are, you know, healthy and they're good for me. Whereas, oh my gosh, you know, especially being young and making those unhealthy soul ties, I heard a pastor once say, it's like, even though you pull apart or you like disconnect with that person as far as like physically, there's still elements of them in your spirit, in your soul. So you have to do like a cleansing. You have to be healed from that. You have to do some processing to kind of be truly free of that. And I've definitely been in circumstances as a young woman, you know, trying to find my way where I've just connected with individuals who did not have the best in mind for me. And whether it was intentional or not, it did a lot of damage because, you know, it did not exemplify or edify who I was. You know, it didn't edify my purpose. It didn't help me to tap into the best of me. So, and I'm sure we've all in some ways not been in our best places and maybe not been the best for others. And not, like I said, not intentionally, but, you know, it's just a part of life and healing and growing. But understanding what, you know, it looks like to be in great covenant relationships is important. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's all I have. And, you know, I hope that, you know, this helps someone, especially someone who may be really dealing with a toxic relationship. And I didn't say this, but I will say, you know, and I think we say it a lot, you know, seek help when needed. Because, I mean, if you're in an unhealthy relationship and it's dangerous, you know, you definitely want to seek some professional help, you know. And when I say dangerous, I on a physical level as well as psychological. So, yes. That's all I have for y'all.
Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome. Remember to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Peace.
Come on over to the Nurse Corner and get nice and snuggy and cuddle up and let's learn some things. So you two did an excellent job about soul ties. Unfortunately, me, she, her. I'm not as prepared today. So I just want to kind of expound on kind of some of what you said. I do have a fun fact.
Okay, I love it.
Fun fact. So just on some of the things that you spoke of with the soul ties, that's really why a lot of religions tend to teach young women to kind of save themselves from marriage just because of that reason. Because you know, give yourself to this individual and your souls become one and your soul ties, and you just want to make sure that that person is, I'm just trying to use my words here so I don't kind of single out any religion, but you know, you just want to make sure that that person is sent by the correct entity, whatever that is that you may worship or serve. And so that's how that kind of came about is, you know, save your flower. Don't let anybody water your flower, okay? Okay.
That's your husband.
Yeah.
Or your wife.
Exactly. So I think, did I have another fun fact? I'm trying to think. I don't know if I did or not. I don't think I did. But I did want to really mention that as far as, you know, expounding on your emotional soul tie part of it. And that's kind of the reason why, you know, the adults told the young ladies to kind of save yourself. Because, you know, you can connect with that soul that may not be necessarily good for you. I too have had both.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a soul tie that was, made me feel alive, made me feel seen, made me feel loved, made me feel like I could do and accomplish anything, made me believe in myself, Then I had a toxic one that was criticizing, there was jealousy, there was verbal abuse, so it was a lot of darkness. And then it makes you kind of sit and wonder, like, yeah, we do know hurt people, but is it ever a point where you think that that person, that's all they know?
Right.
Like, is they know better, but maybe they don't know how to redirect themselves, especially if, they don't have a relationship with God. They don't know God to know that He can turn all that around. All things are possible. He'll love you regardless, but maybe you just weren't exposed to that, or maybe you just don't know.
Yeah.
So that was kind of all I had for my segment. I just kind of wanted to
And
give
I
that fun
think
fact.
I like how you, because it just, as I was listening to you, it reminds me, because I'm thinking back on my own personal experiences, like how important it is to pay attention to how people make you feel, and sometimes, yes, it's, it's your own issues. You're like filtering relationships out of, like how you carry your baggage. It's not that person at all. It's just stuff you need to get rid of. But sometimes it really is, I need to check this situation, this person, because I'm feeling like I'm going into a pit of despair, or, like you said, it's just you're feeling like you're in I don't know, this whirlwind of darkness or negativity or whatever it might be. And that's not normal and it's not okay. And I think when we recognize that and we nip that in the bud immediately, we can be on our process, continue our process of being whole and healthy and happy. So, yeah.
But I do have a request for you. You spoke about, when you have that dark soul tie or that toxic one, that you have to heal that part. I would love to get some introspection on how would one go about getting healing or healing from that.
I think, like I said, the first thing is disconnecting yourself if possible. I know sometimes, believe it or not, and I think you mentioned, both of y'all mentioned this, soul ties. We have soul ties with our siblings, our blood, family as well. So to some extent, some people you may not be able to cut off completely, but that's the first step, the boundaries of separating yourself from them as much as possible. And then, as I said before, kind of doing the deep work of how did this person get in my space? What is it in me that kind of, not saying it's about fault, but it's just about what in me was attracted to this person, this individual,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be certain seasons in our life where we're just very vulnerable because, of whatever, we're lonely, or we're, or maybe we're not lonely, we're just looking for something and we're expecting it, but our expectations are unrealistic, you know what I mean? Or it's just not, we're only looking at bits and pieces, like how I hear a lot of people, and just no disrespect, but when people say, oh, when I get before I get married or whatever, the man has to have, or the woman has to have a certain amount of money or a certain credit and this and that. But that's only one part of that person. Yeah. And then you may cut off somebody who has the potential to get there, and is an amazing human being, but you are so busy focused on this one aspect that you're missing the core that really matters, So I think sometimes it's just all about, how did I get in this place? How did this person get here? And I think when you start there, and like I said, if you need to seek therapy and all of that to work through that, do so. But that's the first step, just examining yourself, because you can't control anyone else, but you can control, what is it about me? Was there a need? Was there just, just pulling all those pieces together and really trying to be honest with yourself about, what went wrong, so to speak, and moving forward. And having compassion, like forgiving yourself, because, again, it's not, unless who's intentionally looking for a toxic relationship?
Exactly.
Seriously. So, forgiving yourself, because, I think at the end of the day, most of us have a amazing, beautiful heart, and we want the best for ourselves and others. But sometimes you just miss it until it's right in your face, and you're like, what in the world, So I think just have mercy on yourself and moving forward, you know. Yeah.
It came to my mind the other fun fact. So,
Okay.
you ever, I was reading an article and it was talking about, I don't know if it was Women's Day or it was some woman's magazine. And in that article, it was talking about, you ever had, so those who are mothers, and you ever get that feeling, or they say that twins have it like that.
Okay.
Well, you ever had that feeling where one of your children, and you feel it more if you have multiple children, you feel it more with that one child, like something's not right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in this article, it says that, yeah, we share our parents' DNA. You get some from your paternal and some from your maternal to make up your DNA. But it's also been discovered that a woman that has had a child, her cells, her direct cells are with that child.
Wow.
And they found that those cells are mostly in the heart and some are in the brain.
Wow.
And so that's the reason why they say that the mothers can sense when that child is hurting or really hurt when that child hurts. And so I just found that very interesting. I wonder who thought of just doing that research to kind of explain that. But, if you've ever been a mother or a father, and you have a child, and you're like, you can feel that child hurting, you can feel that hurt. That's because that child has the mother's cells.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I just kind of thought that was
Makes
interesting.
sense.
But
That makes sense.
that's all I have for the Nurse Corner.
Okay. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to, I think, piggyback off of when you talked about. Did it go away? Did the thought go away? It was about like if you don't know, okay, the soul ties, that's toxic. The first time around, you might just not know because you've never been through anything good or bad in a relationship, so you just don't even realize that it's toxic until you're out of it, and then maybe you enter a healthy relationship and you're like, oh, well, so what was that? You know?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you don't even know that you're in it until you're out of it.
Right.
So,
yeah. And that's why I think it's important for, parents, women, men to talk to each other, to kind of just share experiences because then you can help one another kind of be aware.
Outside of your connection?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Outside of your connection. And like, even as far as parents, before your child is at dating age, kind of like you representing as parents, as husband and wife or whatever, or if you're a single parent, just as mom or dad or whatever, what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship with yourself and with other people, so that they know, this did not, I don't feel right. And I don't think, you may not actually be able to pinpoint it, but having those examples kind of lets you know that I'm not tolerating this.
Yeah.
My dad didn't do this, or my mom didn't do this, or whatever,
Yeah.
So I think that's helpful too.
Yeah.
That's good. And then something else you said about how some people have these lists of what they want in a person they might miss out. I think you need to have a list of deal breakers for sure.
Right.
Because you can end up.
Don't be so petty.
Right.
What you want to say? No, whatever your list is, if you got petty on your list, have at it. Because you might compromise yourself if you just are like, well, whatever. I'm not. Forget the list. I'm just gonna take whatever comes my way. I think you have to have some sort of like list in your head, or so okay, so this is. I know I want this. I know I definitely don't want that. Or find like a middle ground, but definitely don't compromise on what you want in someone, but just don't make it about, something real superficial.
Right, exactly. And I mean, it should always be based on your core values. I mean, because like I said, some things that we're looking for, like, and I hear people say this a lot of people say this, my type is tall, dark, and handsome, whatever. I'm just giving an example. And then they end up marrying somebody short and light-skinned and whatever, and they love them like they're in love. So it's like, if you keep yourself in a box like that, you may miss out on the love of your life, you know, like really. So it's like you said, that's kind of superficial, but like the core values should not change. Like you should want somebody that may not be a millionaire, but they're a hard worker and they're striving and they're really getting to that point. Not somebody who got potential, but they sitting on the couch all day. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to discern what to compromise on. And I feel like you said, don't throw your list away, but make sure your list makes sense. Like it really is a good list. A list that reflects at the end of the day what's gonna matter, you know.
A list that's not petty.
Right.
Maybe
A list
he's
that's
not
not
the
petty.
NBA like star, superstar, but maybe he just like is the coach.
Right.
You know, you still in the ballpark.
Look, there we go. Positive. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Heal With Us.
And remember, healing is a process, so take it one day at a time.
We would love to hear from everyone. We're available across all social media platforms. Also, don't forget that we are available podcasts. I mean, you can listen to us as well as see our beautiful faces. But we would love for you to reach us anyway. Our email, healwithus3@gmail.com. Drop us a line, say hello, any questions, whatever things you may have. I don't know what that is, cameraman.
Oh, like, share.
Oh, like, share, subscribe. Give us a thumb up. Like, yeah.
Heal with us.